Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm going to go about this a little bit different. I'm actually reading that book, Winning, by Tim S. Grover, and loving every minute of it. I love this book, everything about it, and it's really a different mindset. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and how that relates to the no comfort zone. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Welcome back, everybody, after that amazing intro. I want to shorten the intro, but I just like it too much. It actually gets me jacked up in the morning when I listen to it. And yes, I listen to my own podcast every now and again. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. I motivate me, and isn't that the way it's supposed to be? That rhymes. I'm going to run with it. Competing versus winning. When you know what to think, you're ready to compete. That's from Tim S. Grover in the book Winning. And I love that. When you know what to think, you're ready to compete. And competition is not a good thing. As Grant Cardone says, you want to dominate your competition. You don't want to even compete. You want to be so good that there is no competition. And I totally get that. And for most of my life, that's what I've been doing. Competing against myself, against the opinions of others, against everybody and everything that I thought were against me, and I would compete against them to prove them wrong. And where does that wind me up? It definitely winds me up competing. You might be in the same spot. I think to myself, if I look at all the challenges and trials and tribulations that I faced in my life, all those wonderful opportunities that I had to learn from, and I look at it from a competitive mindset, I realize that I keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. But according to the book Winning, when you know how to think, you're ready to win. And that's the game changer. When you know how to think, you're ready to win. And he talks about Kobe. He talks about Mike MJ. He talks about Dwayne Wade. These are guys that, they don't compete with other people. They are totally doing things on their own. As it's been said in one of his books, when shit hits the fan, when that fire alarm gets pulled, they're going to be looking for you. And that's the person that you want to be. And the only way that you're going to get there is when you know how to think. You're ready to win. He goes on further to say that your education teaches you what to think. Your education teaches you what to think. Life teaches you by experiences how to think. Do you learn from going to school and reading a book, or do you learn from the school of hard knocks? That's where I come from. Cause and effect, trial and error. I learn from my errors and I try to become better. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but I'm going to ask you the same thing. Are you learning from your errors? And that's what the No Comfort Zone Blueprint is all about. It's taking those trials and those tribulations, those things that you had happen to you in your life, that adversity that really sucks, and pulling out the lessons so you can apply them to better yourself. Whether you want a better relationship, a better job, better career, a change of career, whether you want a different family life, whatever is true for you, whatever it is, you can throw that into the blueprint based on previous adversities and challenges and decisions that you've made. And what's going to happen is it's all going to give you the lessons that you've learned based on what you've done in your life. And now you know how to think. You go to school and you're actually tested after you learn. They give you the teacher's, classroom dissertation. You go through the assignments, you do the homework, you turn it in, you get graded, and then you go through a few tests, a few quizzes, and then you finally get the final. And then after all of that education, you're actually tested to see if you learned it or not. But in life, it's completely different, according to Tim. In life, you're actually tested before you learn. Think about that. You're tested before you learn. Here's a challenge for you. Bam, here's the reality check. Here's where you're at now. Now what do you do? I don't know of any person who's been worth their salt that has actually been given anything. Everyone's failed to get to the point where they're at. I certainly have. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'll tell you this. I know if you're at point A where I was and you want to get to point B, I know I can get you there. And yeah, I have people that are helping me to get to my new point B now. There's a lot of them out there. A shout out to Andy Elliott and the sales training organization who threw this book up on social media. I mean, it was a game changer for me. One positive, super great social media content okay, from an influencer. He puts it out there. It's great stuff. I consume it. But now I realize by me consuming social media, I have an obligation and a moral responsibility for who I am, Dan Brzezowski, the No Comfort Zone guy, to turn this into content. So Russell Brunson said, the affiliate marketing guy, he said, you can go over and you consume social media, but really what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to contribute to social media and you're supposed to create content. And by Andy throwing that out there and his man, Ian Macklin, crazy story. The two guys are in an airport. They see the book Winning. They know they just referred me the book Relentless, which I read and I commented back. I appreciate it. These guys, man, insane as they are, super high energy. They end up sending me a video. They're in the airport. Dan, the man, we're just, jacked up. Dan, the man, we just saw this book, and we're going to send it to you, man. Just give me your address. I honestly thought they weren't going to send it to me. I gave them my address, man. You guys are rock stars. I appreciate you. And true story. Next thing you know, like 3 days later, it's in my mail. And I actually thought I bought the book by accident on Amazon. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, these guys actually followed through and sent it. These guys are beast. I have a thing called the No Comfort Zone Blueprint. It can help any sales organization. It can help any addicted person. It can help any person in a relationship get from the shit they're in to better. It can go from A to B. It's what it did for me. It's what I did through my no comfort zone periods. And I'm telling you, these guys got like part 4 of the blueprint. The energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and engagement. These guys are highly engaged. And why am I giving them a shout out? Because the book had a profound effect on me. And I hope this book and this podcast has a profound effect on you. I'm going to put the link here in the podcast so you can get directly consume it from Amazon. And I recommend you get the written book. And I recommend that you actually get the Audible. I absolutely love it. I've listened to it. I'm on my second time right now. And what I'm putting down is what I've picked up from this book. So I hope you're picking up what I'm laying down from Tim, because it's going to create a massive impact in your life when you start to apply the principles of how to think. You already know what to think. You want to be successful. You want to be motivated. You want to be that guy, but you got to start to think. How are you going to think? And Ian's great at that. Ian Macklin goes over how to brand yourself. And in the business world of automotive retail sales, I mean, these guys got it figured out. These guys know how to brand. They know how to put it out there. And I'm showing them a lot of love on this podcast right now because, you never know what someone's going through. And for these guys just to pop something off to me in the middle and think of me, it meant a lot to me. I have a lot of great stuff going on in my life right now. And when somebody reaches out and they say, hey, you know what? We're thinking about you. Here's something we want to do for you. And it has an impact. Well, I'm going to give them a shout out. These guys are animals. And I highly recommend that you check out the Andy Elliott Sales Training Organization and my man, Ian Macklin. Awesome guys. So, hey, this podcast just turned into a promotional for you guys, but I greatly appreciate it and what you guys are about and what you're doing. And I've got a great story I can tell you guys if you hit me up, and how I found Ian years ago, or Andy years ago, and I can explain more about that. But I'm going to get back onto the podcast in the No Comfort Zone. When I was doing my own sales training, I wanted to have that opportunity. I was in Southern California, about 300 people. And what I would do is I would go in through and I would tell stories, listen to regular sales training stuff. And I remember this. I remember somebody asking me when I went to the dealership afterwards, and they go, well, Dan, basically, how do you sell 30 cars a month in half the month? How do you do that? And I go, well, it's really simple. I read a lot of books, and then I met people and I did what they did. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I go, well, the first book I ever read was a book by Joe Girard, How to Sell Yourself. That's the first business book I ever read, and it's old, man. The book was written in the 70s, and I picked it up at like a Barnes & Noble or something just because I wanted to learn how to sell myself because I was shy. I was introverted. I was extremely introverted, and I didn't know how to communicate or persuade or get anything in life that I wanted, and I knew I'm going to have to learn how to communicate at a different level in order to get the jobs that I wanted. So I ended up reading this book, and then I started to learn a little bit more, and I applied some of the principles from that book, and I got success. Then I met other people who had rapport with the author of that book, who knew about him and talked, and they referred me to other people, and I took their information and more information. And next thing you know, I'm with Grant Cardone in Hawaii at one of his seminars. Years later, I ended up working for him. And then Tom Hopkins in Hawaii. Then, all these different people, these mentors started coming into my life. And, back to it, a guy like Andy Elliott's going to be a great mentor if you're interested in that sales game. And if you're interested in doing that, these guys live it and breathe it, and they do it every day. I used to to do it, but now I do something else. I'm a general manager of 3 dealerships. My time is consumed with that. I'm learning a lot, but I'm teaching a lot. But this is what these guys do for a living. So check them out. But the reason why I'm saying this is I used to go around and the guy goes, how do you sell 30 cars in half the month? And I just told him, I said, it's like I found the right people and I aligned with them. If you want to make the world's greatest chocolate cake, and yes, Tim S. Glover talks about it in his book, you're not going to believe it. He told the same story about the chocolate cake, but what he said was different. If you want to make the world's greatest chocolate cake, go find the person that's making the greatest chocolate cake in the world and do exactly what they do. My addition to the story is you do exactly what they do in the way they do it and how they do it. They will teach you what to think. And that's what I did for most of my career. So I say to myself, I sold what I did and I got my successes because people told me what to think and I did it. I was a great follower. But the difference between somebody that's competing like I was and somebody who's winning like I am now, the big difference is I know how to think. And by me knowing how to think, I can change the recipe a little bit. I can tweak it and make it better. I can evolve into not only becoming the person that makes the world's greatest chocolate cake, but now I can become the world's greatest chef. I'm all over the place in this podcast, man, but bear with me. Hopefully this is resonating with you. And how does this work for you? If you want to be great in your relationship, if you want to be great at your job, whatever it is, you already know what to think. That's why you're at where you're at. That's why you got in the situation you're at. Realize that you know what to think. Now you need to realize how to think. You need to be the person with the answers. You ask your brain a question, you're going to get an answer. You ask your brain a better question, you're going to get a better answer. The more purified your question is, the more clear you are in what exactly it is that you want or what you're looking for, the better the answer will come. And the more you practice at it all the time, you're going to get better and better at it. And then better opportunities, better results, bigger opportunities, and so on and so on. And it just keeps going from there. So listen, I just want to tell you this, that I, from the bottom of my heart, love listening to books, love reading books. Check out the book. Please do yourself that favor. Tim S. Grover, Winning. The link is in the description. Go check it out. Let me know, dan@thenocomfortzone.com, or hit me up on social, or even go to thenocomfortzone.com and schedule a call with me. Let's talk about it, how we can apply the principles of winning and my No Comfort Zone blueprint. 5 steps to your ultimate success. 30, 60, 90 days. We can choose whichever plan you want to go with. But the bottom line is this. I'm going to tell you this. Now's the time you got to make a decision. You got to live a little bit. You're going to try. You're going to fail. You're going to learn. You're going to accomplish. And you're going to succeed. Just remember that. When you put it all in, when you jump in head first without testing the water and you just jump in, your life is going to happen. Your life is absolutely 100% going to happen. Do yourself a favor. Get off of the sidelines. Get into the game. Get into the field of battle. Roll your sleeves up. Tear the sleeves up. Do whatever you got to do. Dig into work and do yourself a big favor. Today, moving forward, is the day that you get rid of all the comfort zones in your life and you start to live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.